So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down how I made $17,000 on my personal account today, and then another $11,000 on my funded accounts. So first and foremost, what I want to go over with you guys here is I've been getting a ton of emails and DMs on how I'm paying no commissions on my trading fees. And that's because the brokerage that I'm currently using offers a no commissions account. The spreads are a little bit larger, but naturally on indices, as you can see, the spreads really aren't that large anyway. So I decided to obviously go with the no commissions account, so I don't pay the brokerage any commissions. And when it comes to my funded accounts, I'm currently up right now about $25,000 in total. A big portion of that is being today's trades, which I've really only been trading 2 or 3 contracts. And I actually recorded today's trade live. So if you guys want to see the full live video, go to my Instagram, Lambo Raul, and DM me the word Discord, and I will shoot you over a link to join my free Discord server where you can watch my previous trade recaps, and you can also watch the live trade from today. Without further ado, I want to show you guys how I was able to actually use this order flow data to my advantage to catch this big reversal to the downside that we saw, and we're starting to see some crazy continuations off the value area high here as well, which you guys can see again how important it is to look at a volume profile, how important it is to use this order flow data to your advantage if you really want to take your trading to the next level. Now, when it came down to this position, originally at first, I ended up taking shorts around here at the 56.78s, and I ended up getting stopped at break even. So I'm not going to go too in depth with that trade, but I do want to show you guys why I was starting to look for shorts all the way up there. If we go on a daily time frame here on ES, we're going to see that we've pushed into a technical key level of resistance here being 56.72. So number one, we're trading at a key level of resistance, which is 56.72. Number two, what we're starting to see is volume over time is starting to kind of stay a little bit stagnant as we're around this resistance range. And you can really notice that there's really not a lot of pressure going on from either side, which really I'm looking at the buying side here, which really what made me want to originally start looking to go short in this area was trapped buyers. Now, what you could see here is you have 2 large buyers that came into the markets, 200 contracts and then 100 contracts here in a single order that pushed the markets up into the resistance range. But after that, there was no follow through with any of the buyers here. You can see a positive delta of 300, and you can also see all of this aggressive buying here at resistance, yet we rejected and came down. We then pushed back up to try and reclaim back above where these buyers came in, and we rejected again. What this tells me is that we have buying absorption here, meaning that there's a large passive seller or multiple passive sellers holding this area and soaking up all of these aggressive orders like a wall. Literally, the way you could think about it is if you go in with 2 contracts, market execution, there's somebody waiting with a sell limit at 4 contracts instead, which is going to hold the market down in this situation. Now, we did end up getting the breakout to the downside. I ended up executing myself after these buyers over here got trapped. Notice a 168 on the delta. We had a little bit of a buying imbalance. We flipped. That passive seller was still there. Then we had aggressive sellers come in the market. Ended up executing myself short there at 56.79 or so. And then price came down. Immediately when price came down, because I was a little bit worried on being like one of the first sellers in this market, I moved my stops to break even, and I got tapped at break even, and price dumped all the way down into my targets, which at the time I was targeting the value area high, which you guys can see the value area high here as well. Now, along with the value area high, we also have this key level of structure here. So you guys can see right now the value area high sitting at 56.62. We also have this key level of structure here. And really what I was looking for once we pushed back into this value area high was one of 2 things. Are we going to see the buyers defend this value area high, or are we going to see new aggressive sellers come in and step in and push price lower? If we see the buyers come into the value area high, and you'll see me here, you'll hear me say this in the live video if you guys join the Discord, I'll be looking for price to come back up and retest the high of day. If we see sellers step in though at this value area high, I'm going to look for a quick move down into this low volume node here at the 56.52s for a little bit of a scalp, which I ended up holding much past that on my funded accounts. On my main portfolio, I got out at basically what my target was. So really what I was looking for here, I'm going to make sure I'm on here. Really what I was looking for here was one of 2 things. If I'm going to see buyers defend, this is basically what I want to see right here. What I'm going to want to see is sellers get very aggressive at the value area high, and I'm going to want to see a rejection followed up by aggressive buying after that. I don't want to see price come into the value area high and immediately aggressive buying coming in, because really all that shows us that yes, there's aggressive buyers there, but what we could also have as well is some form of a large seller sitting up here waiting to get executed for price to come back down. So for me, I would much rather see absorption and trapped sellers for me to want to take longs than just to take longs with aggressive buyers. And on top of that, we never got on this specific cluster, we never got down into the value area high. What I would have wanted to see in this situation for me to take longs is for this candlestick to come down, show me all of this aggressive selling, and then start to come back above, which we did that temporarily. But what ended up happening was price action would come down. We had a lot of aggressive selling come back in. Price would come right back up into the value area high and immediately come back down. So if you were to kind of like envision this, right, you guys can see my cursor here. I want you guys to pretend like my cursor is price action. So we're coming down, we're coming bearish. There's a lot of aggressive selling coming into the markets. Price would come right back up into the value area high and then come right back down. And the value area high was then acting as resistance, and price kept doing this, where we had buyers try and come back in, and then the delta would pick back up negative, showing us that there's more aggressive sellers coming into the markets. And what this shows me is that not only have we reclaimed under the value area high, but we have new aggressive sellers continuing and willing to sell this market. So at that point is when I decided to execute myself into the shorts. My stop loss was slightly above this high here, around the 65, 66s, targeting the 52s, which is going to be a low volume node. Now you have high volume nodes inside of the markets and low volume nodes inside of the markets. Typically, I'll look to target a low volume node to see if we can transact there. And what we can see is price did come down into this low volume node, but we broke out so fast that we really didn't transact there too much. Then what we could see is once we made new lows, we pulled back into that low volume node. We did transact here. We did see more volume being traded inside of this low volume node, and we saw price action reject and continue in the opposite direction. So again, for entries to confirm a breakout, what I'm going to want to see in this situation like this, because this is basically a breakout trade, it is not a bounce play trade, is I'm going to want to see aggressive selling. I'm going to want to see a selling imbalance, which we have here at the 56, 61s, which is going to be what this box is. And then I'm going to want to see sellers defend their position, which you could see it live on the footprint charts. Again, when price came back up into the value area high again, buyers started coming in and then sellers came right back in, and they continued to have that tug of war and defend that. And that's the thing about only trading price action, is that you're not going to be able to see that in real time. And a lot of people will probably be like, you know what, we're rejecting the lows of support, I'm going to buy this. And that's the error that they make. And getting into order flow and the footprint charts will help you significantly to stop getting faked out, more importantly, because you're seeing the action in real time and you're able to make better educated decisions based off of this order flow data. So price action ended up dumping all the way down into the 52s here, where we had this VWAP, and I ended up closing out significantly lower because of how fast price action was actually breaking out to the downside here. And that was my trade from practically point A to point B. And what I want you guys to keep in mind is that this is not a time frame chart. This is a 20 tick range bar chart. So each one of these candlesticks are going to be the same exact size at 20 ticks. And when we've reached a new 20 ticks, and that's when a new candlestick actually opens up and forms. I will talk to you guys in the next video as well. Again, if you guys want to get access to more of my trade recaps, and you guys want to get access to my live trading videos as well, completely for free, make sure you join the Discord. Just go to my Instagram DMs, DM me the word Discord, and I'll send you over the invite right away.